Good morning, everyone. Good day. This is the
Hello. Oh,
Hi, Christopher, my
sorry.
host, my co-host. Welcome to Dandelion Reflections, our podcast. And I have the pleasure to discuss again with my co-host, Christopher. Good morning,
Oh,
Christopher.
good morning. All
Or
my
good
pleasure.
evening for you.
Good evening for me. Good morning to you. And
Thank you.
good day or whatever to everyone out there that's tuned in
Hmm.
today. Happy to
Yes.
have you here. Thank you. And we have I think, a very interesting topic again. Caroline, what did
Yes.
we pick today?
What did you pick? You pick brain rot and brain overload. They're kind of overlapping concepts, but we're going to talk more about that. Is that
Right.
right?
Actually, it was we because I think we both had a strong connection with
Mhm.
in our realities,
Yeah.
um, and so that was an easy pick actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
brain rot is the word sounds very interesting, and I think the internet said there's actually an Oxford um, word of the year 2024, and they picked brain rot
I
that
did not
year.
know that.
So it's
Oh, okay.
not that old, but not that young either.
Mm-hmm.
But brain rot, I think the word itself says a lot about it. But
Scary.
you, yeah, exactly. But you brought another perspective into it. When I hear brain rot, my brain makes out of this, you know, that we get that our brain rots, that we get more and more stupid, that we get less performative, that we have less cognitive performance in our
Mm-hmm.
brain.
Yeah.
And then you actually had a some experience from your practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to
Yes.
describe that?
Yeah. I mean, when I thought about this, I thought about brain overload, what we do
Hmm.
to our brains on a daily basis, the way we live our lives. And I see that in my clinical practices every time a patient says, I think I have ADHD. And I'm talking about, middle-aged person who's generally working outside the home and in the home with their families and raising families and young kids, managing their school and everything, and they say I think I have ADHD, and I realize like no, it's I think this is the way we live our life, and we're too dispersed. And I don't know about where you are right now in this part of the world, beautiful part of the world called Europe and Scandinavia, Christopher, but here in the US it's insane the amount of things that on any given day a parent has to do.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, Teachers Appreciation Week, you have to bring stuff for teachers every day, and there's some theme every day. There's always a task that's changing, and add to that the lunches and the practices of this or that. And I think it's exploded. I think it's nice to have social stuff, extracurricular stuff, but for me I was kind of overwhelmed with having, like, I have teenagers, they went to different schools, and they were yeah, this academic year has been very challenging for me, so I really felt the brain overload. And I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, to my patients, no wonder you feel like that, but it's not ADHD. It's like life's demands that are way too numerous and not matching our brain capacity. So that's kind of what I have to say about that. And
Hmm.
I feel like it's important to pause and kind of reassess and try to simplify our lives. And I'm not even talking about, okay, the insurance companies are not going to renew me this year. And it happens every year now because the fire hazard in California. I mean, I have that in my head. This is the mental load that I'm
Hmm.
dealing with every day. And yeah, it's incredible. So yeah, and then what you're talking about, the brain rot, I think
Hmm.
exacerbates that further. Yeah, it makes us
Yes.
unaware of that this is happening, and then we need to close the valve so we don't have all
Hmm.
these demands coming our way. So
So
maybe you
the
could talk more about
sorry.
that. No, go ahead.
So we have the mental overload that in what you described sounds like, okay, this is mostly adults that are s- finding themselves in such a situation. And then the
Yeah.
brain rot, from what I understand, is uh, mainly younger generations, Generation Z, uh, and that start up with this mental overload, but
Mm-hmm.
in a self-inflicted way, so to say.
Yeah.
No, well, is it self-inflicted? I don't know. That's actually an interesting question. So we choose to have our phones in front of
Mm-hmm.
us. We choose to consume social media.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, but then there's, of course, the idea that the social media industry actually markets themselves into young people. They're they're the oh, what's the word again? Uh, the algorithms that
Mm-hmm.
present the the consumer whatever they think the algorithm thinks would be most interesting right now. So you are sucked into already as a young person, you're sucked into this scrolling, this consuming of data, of constant stimulus, of constant more or less interesting stuff. And so what is happening is maybe not so far away from each other for the children and for the adults. And then the all these events, everything you have to do to not be looked down onto as a bad parent. Oh, what? You're not doing this. You're not active in this. Oh, this you're a bad parent. So of course we don't want to be seen as a bad parent or bad whatever, or bad person, bad neighbor, or you name it. So there's this constant expectations from you both in as a young person and an adult. And I can imagine this is going well over how do you say overhand?
Yeah,
Or
it's way overboard or way yeah, it's tenfold or thousandfold. The way you were describing all of this, I kind of had a powerful image. Like, I feel like we're bombarded from all directions,
mm,
and these social expectations or social pressure
mm,
to do it right. And yeah, that's why advertisement is or marketing is effective, because they really target this sense of insecurity that becomes overly stimulated, because now we have awareness of what everyone's doing, and it's like we're comparing even more. And I
mm,
don't think that's helpful. I don't think that's elevating us. I think that's crushing us. So
yeah.
we really need to take a step back and make a distance, create a distance, and realize, like, yeah, the social media, there is a part of it, if not self-inflicted, it's self-perpetuated. Yes, we might have
Mm,
been exposed to it, but now we choose to continue that. And so really, I think we need to go back to the direct experience. You and I are just nature lovers, and
mm,
I think this brings us back in the moment. And so it's important to just realize what it's doing to our brains. It disconnects us from our direct embodied experience and to each
mm,
other ultimately. So going back to nature connects us with the rest of us in a very compassionate way. No
mm.
self-criticism, no comparison.
There
Yeah.
was this ad series, was it in the 1980s in the USA, where they had this frying pan with two eggs, and this is your brain on drugs.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember.
You
Ooh.
know?
Okay.
And then another thing was just say no. Well, that
Mm-hmm.
was one of the most
Mm-hmm.
the the main ideas of this campaign. Just say no. And
Mm-hmm.
this is why I'm thinking of this. Just say no of being a part of this game of
Mm-hmm.
being uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
more or less actively forced to participate in this game, be
Mm-hmm.
all these weeks and appreciation weeks and be here and be there be active here and in this team, and
Mm-hmm.
when you when you're looking at your peers in social media, uh,
Mm-hmm.
they put out this information about, oh, look how great we are. We have been active here, or we do this, and this is our wonderful home, and this is our wonderful new kitchen, and this is we are constantly bombarded with, oh, you have to keep up. You have to be good, at least as good as we are in order to be one of us. And this is the same, I guess, for both children and young people and adults of any
Mm-hmm.
age that consume um, social media in a non-aware
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
I don't want to say social media is bad. I want to say uncontrolled social media usage,
Yeah.
consumerism is bad.
Yes, absolutely, because it takes over our lives. So we end up living in a parallel reality.
Yes.
And it's really creating a weird, yeah, a weird approach to life and living and each other. So again, yeah, the lived and the direct experience, going back to the force or multiple senses that we have. And I feel like, yeah, when you talk about brain rot, our brain is a beautiful tool,
Hmm.
and we have to use it to channel consciousness, not being just polluted by, yes, what's on social media, what's
Hmm.
on the internet, what's thrown at us. So yeah, we really have to realize that just like in our bodies, we try to not ingest food that have been exposed to pesticides.
Yeah.
Then with our brains, we should be as careful what goes into it. It's
Hmm.
like, what do we consume digitally is going to affect our well-being.
There, I mentioned it to you before we started the recording. I'd like to mention it again. The marketing uh, powers and strategies of social media of the social media industry is, in my eyes, very similar to the tobacco
Mhm.
industry,
Okay.
and both of them are actively targeting young people as
Mhm.
as as young as they can get away with. And that's something very, very concerning. And as parents, we wouldn't allow our children at
Mhm.
I don't know, 9 years consume any tobacco in any form.
No.
But we're okay with them scrolling through TikTok
Mhm.
and whatever, and that's actually
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it makes me a little worried.
It is worrisome, Christopher, because, unlike the, let's say, tobacco exposure, which is more direct, those who are trying to really get our attention or the children's attention, it's done in a very insidious way, and it's more about something we have in us, a resource that's not that obvious. Like,
Mm,
it's more about our attention than our health or money.
yes.
The social media, the digital world, AI, all of that competes for our attention.
Mm,
And this is and attention, when we say attention, I think it's tied to our inner peace. Ultimately, what is the resource that energy vampires want? Let's say in a partnership, they want the inner peace of the partner. You know what I mean? In
mhm,
abusive relationships, it's like, even if the partner has left, has given all their money, whatever, they lost everything, still the abuser, the predator, wants to live rent free in the ex
mhm,
partner's head. They can't tolerate the partner to have moved on in their lives and be happy and peaceful. So ultimately, we have to protect that peace. This is, we need to
yes.
not lose the focus on it. And again, we talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness brings us back into that space. So how are we going to overcome all of this? It's not fighting back because we're just giving them more attention.
Mhm,
It's ignoring. It's just like, I am going to inhabit that space of peace. I'm not going to visit that illusion, that galaxy that's an illusion,
mhm,
or a creation of the ego.
A creation of the ego. Wonderful point. Thank you.
Yeah.
Again, we've touched this so many times before, but it is very, very important. What is
Yeah.
it that builds our ego, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and and being uncontrollably sucked into this frenzy of both social media and news media and whatever media we are constantly consuming, and we think we
Yeah.
need to keep up with any all of this. We think we need to stay informed about what's happening, and there's if you have if you consume news, uh, there's nothing to be happy about today because it's not clicked on. And
Mm-hmm.
so this just say no that we talked
Mm-hmm.
about earlier,
Yeah.
this is actually very, very important for us to realize we don't need to be in this. We can step outside. And this would actually be a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful um,
Yeah.
wonderfully modeling for our children to
Mm-hmm.
actively step out. No, I will show my children I don't need to have my phone around me all
Mm-hmm.
the time. I can just let my phone uh, lie
Mm-hmm.
there on the kitchen table and go outside and look at the flowers or uh, build something with the kids or whatever, or just enjoy the birds singing. Or that's real
Yeah.
stuff.
It is. Yes. And what you're saying, Christopher, really echoes something deep in me when you say just say no. I think we could start detoxifying ourselves by using these two expressions or functions, opt out or unsubscribe. So,
Yes.
opt out to these things that you feel obligated to do all the time that you don't
Hmm.
like, opt out of it or unsubscribe. Um, and let's say you go shopping in a store and they ask you for your email. I say no. And I
Hmm.
think it can be automatic because no, I say no, I receive way too many emails. No, thank
Hmm.
you. I don't want to. So we have to start practicing saying no. We have to own the fact that we have a choice. We need to
Hmm.
give ourselves this power back. It's really
Exactly.
important. Yeah.
And now let's take a sidestep. All this
Mm-hmm.
data that they are collecting from
Yeah.
us via phone number, email address, this
Mm-hmm.
is somewhere out there, and it is used to
Yeah.
present you even more information, and it
Yeah.
is sold by data brokers. So I
Mm-hmm.
let's be aware of that too. So whenever you step out of that, and whenever you say no, I don't give you
Mm-hmm.
my email address, you are
Mm-hmm.
actively choosing not to be a part of that.
Yes, exactly.
And now we're not talking about all these data thefts and privacy breaches.
It's
That
a
would be
threat. Yes.
another, maybe not even an episode would be enough. It would be a whole podcast.
Yeah. Yes, it would take another podcast. I agree, another episode. So yeah, I mean, giving as little access as possible to our own way of living our lives,
Yeah.
is a way to protect us. Um, yeah, I try to because we become the target of even more advertisement and
Hmm.
unsolicited stuff. So yeah,
We've talked about the gardener, that we are our own gardener,
yeah,
in one of our previous episodes, and that just came into my mind again. We have a fence around our garden, and we wouldn't like other people
mhm,
to just step into
yeah,
our garden and
yeah,
do stupid
yeah,
stuff in our garden. And we look after our flowers. We look after um our our
mhm.
what's the name?
Herbs and potager.
Yes, thank you. Yes, our
Mhm.
small little garden where we have our vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
our bird feeders, and
Mm-hmm.
that's our world, and that's
Yeah.
the same with our brain. We have our little garden in our
Mhm.
in ourselves, our ego, our mental world, and we should take care of that first,
Yes.
and
Yes.
before we can be there for other people. I think that's very important. And we think we I think we really forget that too often, that
Mm-hmm.
we need to take care even of the fence, even of the fence. I
Yeah.
blended in some Swedish there. We need to take care of our fence too, so that no one steps
Mm-hmm.
into our garden that and with their dirty shoes and uh,
Mm-hmm.
leaves prints
Mm-hmm.
in our mental world that we don't want there.
Yes. I like the garden analogy. To me, it reminds me of our soul or a sense of peace
Hmm.
that we talked about earlier. It's like protecting our peace. So the peace is our garden. And I would like to even take it a step further, Christopher. When you say a fence, I say it's good when you're good at building fences and then maintaining them.
Yes.
But if you're not so good, then you just have to move in a country or in a side part of the country where you don't have to worry because nobody's trespassing, everyone's more
Hmm.
respectful. So recently I felt like I'm sick of having to assert my boundaries all the time. It's
Yeah.
exhausting. So I'm like, maybe I'm just going to find situations where I don't have to always constantly assert them. So kind of really finding my own ways to protect myself. Maybe it's an avoidance strategy. I don't know, but I feel like there comes a time in life where we're just tired of doing that
Yeah.
and it's not cost effective or cost beneficial. So I'm just going to move in a place where people are more respectful of each other's space, metaphorically
Mm.
speaking, or
Yes.
yeah.
That's
So,
very interesting point, because actually in Sweden it is not very common for people to actually have fences around their
oh,
gardens. It's open. There's okay, you have some bushes maybe or a
yeah,
hedge, but that's
yeah,
it. You don't actually, like in Germany, right? There are
mhm.
fences everywhere, and in many other countries too.
Very
And
true.
in the
In the
US, I
US,
remember you have these
private
wooden
property,
fences.
no trespassing.
Yeah, right. And you get shot.
Oh, yeah.
In some states.
Some people have guns, yeah, for sure. And the cameras and dogs. It's like
Mm,
threatening dogs. No, so it tells us a lot about the culture. If maybe because people are inherently respectful of each other's peace
yes.
in Sweden. And I remember very well when I visited
Mm,
you, it was open and it
yes.
felt so good. I felt like,
Mm,
oh, it felt like home for me.
yeah.
Same
And
lens.
that's true. People are actually more respectful, but of course there are happening bad things that happen even in
Of
here.
course.
But it's not that this is paradise, but still,
It is right now
Oh,
compared
okay.
to other places for
Com
sure.
Depends on what you compare with. Yes, right.
Yes.
That's true. And that's again, maybe that's also just a reminder of, if you have the possibilities to move your
Hmm.
garden into somewhere else in a different place, well, then do it. Just freaking
Hmm.
do it. And
Yeah.
why wait?
Yeah.
If your flower is your personal you flower is
Hmm.
not thriving at the place that is where it's planted right now, you can move your personal flower to a different place where it's able to thrive and bloom and feel good. And that's we should do that definitely.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the soil that's the issue
Yeah,
that prevents growth. So yeah, transplantation, unrooting, and yeah, going
right.
somewhere for sure.
Or the toxic air, or not enough sun, or too cold climate, or whatever. There's so
Yeah.
many things and yes. Oh, again, suddenly I have this picture of the Le Petit Prince, the little
Oh, my
prince,
favorite stories.
where he puts this glass uh, bowl over the rose. Let me
Yeah.
see if I can quickly find that. No, I guess not. But this is, we need to protect our
Hmm.
brain. We need to protect our mind, our mental health.
Yeah.
And to that, one part of that is actually that we say no to things that where we actually know that we don't feel better of this. We
Hmm.
don't feel better of being dragged into uh, obligations we don't feel comfortable with. We don't feel good with the wrong energy sucking people and friends that just
Hmm.
cost us energy and all this stuff. If I seem distracted right now, it's because I am. I'm looking after the.
Because it's a good reason to be the little prize, le petit prize. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
I don't find it right now. I'm sorry, but
Adorable.
it's very it's a nice image.
Yeah, yes.
So how do we get out of this brain rot, mental overload thing? We mentioned some
Yeah.
points, but let's remind ourselves and our audience again of uh,
Hmm.
while we're coming to the end of this episode,
Yeah.
how can we actually
Hmm.
go against this trend?
I feel like going back to the basics, right? We are made of four elements, just like the earth, and just reconnecting with that through
Mm,
our senses. And we know what healthy living is about. We know the pillars of wellness: proper
yes.
sleep, good diet, preferably plant based, minimally processed,
Hmm.
exercise, moving your body, moving the energies, occupying the space of your energy field, because we have an energy body. That's a whole other podcast episode, but physical body, but energy body as well. And we need
Right.
to expand. What is it that allows us to expand every day? Because the digital world is not going to let us expand. It's sucking
Hmm.
out the energy out of us, the attention, the resources we have. So whatever we can do to expand, that's kind of my key word, my verb that I try to
Hmm.
embody every day. Is this helping me expand?
Wonderful.
So that meditation helps us because we connect with the vastness
Hmm.
of consciousness and humanity. So we know when we talk about mindfulness, it's meditation that helps us be mindful. So what do you
Yeah.
think? What's your recipe?
I completely agree with you. And I also have a similar internal question that I love to ask myself. And to that, I need it's helpful to have a dream, a personal goal, whatever. It doesn't matter. Something that's out there that I'm whatever I'm doing it for this. It could be that you want to have the best world for your children. It can be that you have a personal dream that you would like to do in, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, that you would like to experience something, or that you just, I don't know, just want to uh, lose uh, 10 pounds of weight, or you want to live a healthier life, stop smoking, or whatever. And
Mhm.
the question is, what can I do exact at this moment that will bring me closer to my goal, my dream, or my ideal? And there's you don't have to come up with big things. Just a small thing like not eating this cookie. It can
I
be
just baked for
wonderful.
lunch yesterday.
Oh, oh, yeah.
I-
And or you're on the couch watching TV and just zooming through the channels, and you don't really doing anything good for yourself. Yes, it's good to relax, but watching TV usually doesn't help with that. So why not shutting off the TV and take a book,
yeah.
or sit down in the garden, sit outside in the garden and just watch what happens out there, And that is bringing you closer to whatever you want to achieve.
Yes.
Closer, at least, than doom scrolling in your phone or watching news and the TV that you just feel bad of.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many possibilities. We just need to see and becoming aware of that I am doom scrolling, that my brain is rotting, that I have this brain overload, this mental overload. Just
Yeah.
becoming aware of this helps so
Hmm.
much.
Yes. Yes. I
That's the
love
first
everything
step.
you said. Yes. Very, very well said. Yes,
Yeah.
avoiding what you said basically reminds me of the sense of purpose. So always keeping that in
Mm.
mind. And is what I'm doing helping with that or not? Is it kind of
Mm.
counteracting that?
Exactly.
So yes, we can have moments where we do nothing, we pause, we're just recharging, but we have to be mindful, like, okay, actually intentionally
Mm.
recharge, you know,
Yeah.
not just lose ourselves, like, oh, we lose track of time. Oh my gosh, because it just becomes addictive to be on the phone or
Mm.
so or eating the full bag of chips. No, I'm eating one chip because I need that right now as a reset.
Oh, don't
Or
remind me. I still have a bag of chips up there.
I know that's a sweet sort of, little sort of
Yeah.
your pleasures, guilty pleasures. Yeah, like cookies.
And why not talk, depending on how receptive our kids are about these ideas, but mention it once in a while, and you don't have to have a half an hour of conversation about it. Just say it,
Yeah.
and it will stay in stick to their brains, and they will think about it eventually. And if
Mm-hmm.
you uh, if you say it like once a week, just mention I'm not taking my phone with me today
I love
deliberately.
that.
Oh no,
Modeling.
okay,
Modeling the
right.
healthy, balanced lifestyle. Absolutely.
And that's
Yeah.
okay. And then they will do the same thing. It's eventually, and if they don't, okay, they will learn some other
Hmm.
day, but they will learn, and they will
Yeah.
remind you, remind themselves of how you did.
Yeah, I think the learning would be a good reminder here. Learning, reminding that we need to learn, and the digital world and the brain rot, it's the opposite of that. So, whenever we can be a space of practice where we learn, we're good. Okay. So, being
Yeah.
aware. So, I like that. And realizing that we do not learn anymore. We're just absorbing things without, you know, critical judgment. We're just kind of being hypnotized. Yeah, we have to realize, okay, it's not learning anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, how we process information, being aware and mindful of that. And that will help us have a more judicious utilization of
Mm.
whatever is available to us, like technology.
Right. And then here's a, I'm sorry, there's another thought that just popped up.
Yeah, don't be
Our
sorry.
our brain is not made for this electronic stuff, this information overload. It's not. It's totally. It's
No.
in the red zone. Our brain revs are way outside of the
Mm,
green zone,
mhm.
and that may be one of the reasons why we are completely
Mm.
overwhelmed with everything that is happening out there. We're
Yes, we can't process as much anymore. And
mm.
guess what? We used to remember 7-digit phone numbers. I don't know if there were seven
Oh
digit
yeah,
probably when I grew up, right? There were like 10 or something, eight. But yeah, I grew up and I remembered all my friends' phone number. Now we don't. So
right,
we have to be mindful that we don't want technology or, digital world to take over our brain power.
right.
Mm.
Oh, that reminds me when I worked at the bank. I had the 7-digit account numbers of my clients in my head.
Whew.
Those, not
That
all
was
of them, of course, but
like in
many
a
of
different
them.
era. Wow.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
wonderful. Um,
Mm.
yeah, so just say no, right?
Say no, go on a walk, grab a book,
Hmm.
cultivate your garden, be grateful, and cultivate your peace and protect it. And
And
yeah, say no.
and know what you're doing, what or who you are doing that for.
Yes, remember your sense of purpose. That
All
gives
right.
meaning to life. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Christopher.
Caroline.
As always, merci. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Always a pleasure to
Yes.
include everyone who's around and out there and, yeah, resonating, vibrating at the same frequency. Yeah.
Right. And
Be well.
if you have any ideas or suggestions for how you cope, then
Mhm.
let us know in the comments. We'd love to read it. Thank you.
Yes. And invite a friend to subscribe.
Oh yeah, that
You
would be
can.
great.
Yeah. We want the
Thank
community
you.
to expand. Thank you, everyone. Be well.
Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.